Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
Some breaking news this afternoon. The New York Times is reporting the U.S. Cyber Command has been ordered to stop offensive operations against Russia. Thanks for joining us here on this special edition of 4 News Now for the Oscars. I'm Jordan Smith. This was ordered by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, according to 1 current and 2 former officials who were briefed on these secret instructions. We're learning that these instructions were issued before Friday's contentious conversation in the Oval Office between President Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky, but they have yet to be publicly explained. The New York Times again reporting that this move is a part of a bigger effort to bring Russian President Vladimir Putin into a conversation about the war in Ukraine and perhaps a new relationship with the United States. There's still no word on how long that halt could last. Around the Northwest today, hundreds rallied in Seattle in support of Ukraine, and these emergency rallies are popping up around the country since Friday's tense Oval Office meeting between Presidents Trump and Zelensky. Besides Seattle, people have gathered in Boston, southern Florida as well. And this morning, a 64-year-old woman walking in the parking lot of the Coeur d'Alene Library was run over by a car while it was backing up. According to Coeur d'Alene police, the driver did not see the woman due to her short nature. One of the car's back wheels rolled over that woman. She was transported to the hospital right away. Coeur d'Alene police tell us that she suffered a fractured pelvis. And it turned out the driver of the car knew the woman that they hit. That's according to police. Drugs and alcohol are not suspected to be factors in this incident. We hope she's okay. Significant changes are coming to I-90 tomorrow that will have a major impact on drivers in Post Falls. Idaho Transportation Department will close the westbound exit to Highway 41, which is a main route to access Rathdrum. They'll also close the Highway 41 eastbound I-90 on-ramp overnight for the next few weeks. So expect much longer travel times due to this closure, which is going to last until fall. Hunter Bertram shows us how this will impact your commute.
Heads up to drivers in North Idaho. Your commute is about to become a bit longer for the next several months. Crews are closing Exit 7 from West I-90 to State Highway 41 to make significant improvements to the area. That's the exit to Post Falls when you're coming from Coeur d'Alene, just as the road construction begins.
That's closing down on Monday, and that's going to be closed fully throughout the construction season, which is going to go through fall of this year.
To get onto Highway 41 from westbound I-90, the Idaho Transportation Department is sending drivers further west on I-90 to the Celtice Way exit. It's just past the car dealerships. Then you'll cross over I-90 and get back onto the interstate heading eastbound. The next exit, about a mile after you get onto the highway, will lead you to State Highway 41.
A lot of what they're doing is reconstructing that ramp, and where it's going to be exists in the current footprint, so we can't leave it open while we're trying to tear that up and reconstruct it.
Yet this closure will cause many frustration. This part of the project marks a milestone in this construction. This large road project, which has been ongoing since 2022, is expected to be completed by next year.
But definitely, as with everything, anytime there's a change, it's going to take a little time for people to adjust to those changes. So just using caution, slowing down, being patient with other drivers is really appreciated.
And Heather McDaniel says 511 is the best way to get up-to-date road conditions and backups. Use that before you hit the road tomorrow to make sure you can get to work or dropping off the kids on time.
For those who may not know about that resource, just search 511 Idaho. It'll take you to the ITD website, which monitors real-time traffic conditions. It'll tell you if there's a backup or closure. You can also download it on your phone for a more handy way to get that information. Take your time tomorrow and plan to leave a few minutes early to get to work. In Post Falls, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
A lot of really good information, especially as it starts to get a little nicer out. We're going to see more of those projects start to pop up. And starting Tuesday in North Idaho, a new team will be cruising I-90 from State Line to the east end of Coeur d'Alene to help stranded drivers. It's a part of a new initiative by the Idaho Transportation Department that aims to keep you safe and to keep traffic flowing. Meet the Incident Response Vehicle. It offers free roadside assistance on I-90. The big yellow truck patrols the busy I-90 corridor, keeping an eye out for any drivers who might be in trouble. The Idaho State Police can also dispatch this truck to scenes as needed.
You know, our families, our friends are out on the roadway, and knowing that we're doing the best customer service that we can for the public, it gives you some nice peace of mind.
And right now, ITD has one incident response vehicle, but plans for another one to hit the road in the next few months. These trucks will patrol Tuesdays through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We are closing out what's been a beautiful weekend here in the Inland Northwest, but have we officially made it to spring yet? Jason Valentine joins us this week to help us answer that question, Jason.
Well, if you think about it, 2 weeks ago, Jordan, we were seeing snow.
Oh, yeah.
Last week, rain, flooding. This week, absolutely
beautiful.
Perfect. All right, good Sunday afternoon. I don't often say that, folks, and we are looking at a beautiful day today. We are seeing a little bit more cloud coverage, though, coming in, and we do expect to see more clouds to be coming in for the next couple of days into our work week, our first work week of March. Welcome to March, by the way. We are looking at, again, more cloud coverage as we head into tomorrow morning. We do have a chance of seeing a little bit of shower activity, maybe in the Spokane area, but better chance will be in northern Idaho, including Coeur d'Alene. So a little bit of sprinkles for most of our areas, maybe not Moses Lake. It's not going to be moving too much to the west, but a little bit of shower activity. I'll show you that in my full forecast. So right now we are free and clear. Again, we're seeing a bit more cloud coverage, but no precipitation. But that precipitation, the timing for North Idaho, including Coeur d'Alene, will be around 8 a.m. tomorrow. So during your morning commute, maybe a little bit before that. So let's get you ready. My goodness, a week from today, daylight savings time is going to hit. Now, this is the one where we lose an hour from the weekend. So kind of plan ahead, maybe your sleeping schedule as we get into next week. St. Patrick's Day, 15 days away and 18 days away until spring. So will the spring-like conditions continue into our first full week of March? All of that in my full forecast that's coming right up.
All right, Jason, thank you for that. A Washington State Patrol trooper has been taken into custody for their involvement in a deadly car crash late last night. According to a press release from the WSP chief, it happened in Richland. The trooper was off duty and driving their own personal car. The Richland Police Department is conducting an independent investigation. The WSP chief releasing a statement today reading in part, quote, "We are reminded in times like these that law enforcement officers are not immune from tragedy, not from personal accountability, and we urge all motorists to always drive with focus, care, and caution." Just days after Ukrainian President Zelensky's meeting with President Trump descended into chaos, Britain's Prime Minister hosted several European leaders on Sunday. The group works to outline plans for ending the war with Russia. The Prime Minister saying for a deal to work, it will need the backing of the United States. Here's ABC's Tom Sufi-Borage in London with the latest.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky arriving in London for a summit with European leaders to discuss a path forward for Ukraine more than 3 years after Russia launched its full-scale invasion. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer saying Europe can't accept a weak deal that Russia could break.
Any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security. And Ukraine must be at the table.
The Prime Minister announcing a plan that includes continued military aid to Ukraine and economic pressure on Russia.
The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing.
Zelensky travelling to London just hours after his contentious meeting with President Trump on Friday.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who was also in the Oval Office Friday, saying he hasn't spoken to Zelensky since the meeting. But he defended President Trump, saying Zelensky derailed the peace talks during the meeting by trying to, quote, Ukraine-splain on every issue.
I hope this could all be reset. I hope he comes to the realization that we're actually trying to help his country here before it suffers thousands of more casualties.
We stand with Ukraine.
Protesters gathering outside the White House calling for continued support for Ukraine.
What happened yesterday is not how you treat friends. We need to support Ukraine however we can.
Zelensky also signing an agreement with Starmer to accelerate $2.8 billion worth of loans from the UK. Another key European summit is expected in a few days. Tom Sufi-Borage, ABC News, London.
And Pope Francis had a peaceful night and is resting, according to the Vatican. On Friday, the pontiff had suffered what was called an episode of respiratory difficulty. He required high-flow oxygen therapy using non-invasive mechanical ventilation to treat his double pneumonia. Healthcare workers from Gemelli Hospital, where the Pope is undergoing treatment, made a pilgrimage to St. Peter's Basilica, on Saturday. They braved the rain and prayed for the pontiff's continued recovery. Well, still to come here, a new Washington law requires religious leaders to tell the police if they suspect any harm has been done to a child. Supporters saying this is crucial to keeping kids safe, but opponents argue it could ultimately do more harm. We've got those details ahead. And meet the Seoul Olympian representing Idaho in the Special Olympics World Games. A dream 30 years in the making. Our one-on-one interview with Jeff Green coming up.
And folks, hope you've been able to get out into this beautiful conditions out there. But will a warm and beautiful weekend lead to spring-like conditions for the first week of March? I'll let you know in your first alert weather forecast coming up after this quick break. Stick with us on 4 News Now.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now weather is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort Hotel.
Rain or shine, day or night, good weather always reigns at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. No matter the weather, winning is better. Your 7-day forecast calls for fun at the Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Coeur d'Alene Casino, winning is just the beginning.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits, including 24/7 telehealth.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account?
On it.
Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
Station 51, we have an emergency. Paramedics Johnny Gage and Roy DeSoto, please report to MeTV immediately.
All right. We'll be there in a second.
Emergency.
Watch weekdays on MeTV 4.2.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
Hit the slopes without hitting your wallet. Lookout Pass has you covered with more thrills for less bills. From ski free on your birthday to 2 lift tickets for just $75 every Thursday, it's time to save big and shred hard. Reserve your tickets online for an extra $5 to $10 off. Don't miss out. Deals are waiting for you at skilookout.com/deals.
Thanks for staying with us. We're now just days away from one of the biggest athletic events in the world, the Special Olympics World Games. Just 40 minutes east of Lewiston, we met the sole man representing Idaho on the big stage who's ready to bring home the gold. Jeff Green is a Peck, Idaho native with an Olympic-sized dream to bring home the gold in what's become his favorite event. Jeff will showcase his skills in the World Snowshoe Championships at the World Games in Turin, Italy, competing in the 25 and 50-meter race, a moment years in the making.
He was told on a Zoom call with the Special Olympics Idaho, they told him, "You're going to Italy." I'm like, oh my God. And he had some happy tears.
And then this moment, Nez Perce County Sheriff's Office and Idaho State Police personally delivering Jeff his invitation to the games.
Glad to see you. You know what? I got something to show you.
We were the talk of PAC when here rolls in many, many officers. And it's like, what's happening at the Greens? And I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
North Central Idaho isn't home to year-round snow. But like any dedicated athlete, Jeff didn't make excuses.
Go!
Training in the backyard on a homemade course. Thousands will be in attendance to watch him in action, but none more important to Jeff than his #1 fan.
Jeff keeps saying that, oh, I'll hear my mom. No matter where I'm at, I'll hear my mom cheering.
Jeff has been involved with the Special Olympics for 30 years, and now the stage is set, and this Olympian has his eyes on the prize.
I'm trying to be home with gold.
Jeff has inspired just about everybody who's heard his story. One company in Oregon donated 200 T-shirts for the family to sell to support him on this journey. His family plans to sell those shirts and donate the proceeds back to Special Olympics Idaho to give more athletes an experience just like Jeff's. And opening ceremonies will be this Saturday, March 8th, and you could cheer on Jeff on ESPN. His race is on Wednesday, March 12th, and Friday, March 14th. Good luck, Jeff. You are going to kill it out there. Well, coming up here, we've got a live look at the red carpet. The stars are arriving for Hollywood's biggest night, and we'll let you know what to expect coming up here. And many local restaurants struggling to get back on their feet since the pandemic. How Washington restaurants are making ends meet while remaining 60% less profitable than the national average. That story's coming up after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
I don't think you'll see a show like Shen Yu anywhere in the world. So I think it's definitely a show that should be seen globally and around the world.
Absolutely marvelous. I must say I'm so highly impressed. Just all the concepts are absolutely wonderful.
There was an encouragement to go back to that divine nature and those divine values.
This experience for me is transcendent.
Everyone needs to see this.
It's a must-see. Must-see.
Tickets at shenyun.com/Spokane.
What happens when one of the most famous dunkers of all time goes to the greatest lobster fest of all time?
I make Red Lobster famous.
No, Blake. Dunking happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Create your own lobster lover's dream with 2 or 3 choices on one plate at Red Lobster. What happens when one of the most famous dunkers of all time goes to the greatest lobster fest of all time?
I make Red Lobster famous.
No, Blake. Dunking happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Create your own lobster lover's dream with 2 or 3 choices on one plate at Red Lobster.
Thanks to Horizon Credit Union, we're helping lots of special babies for the next step by making Maddie's place a little bit more like home.
We're here volunteering. Horizon Credit Union, KXLY, it's the whole community coming together.
The 4 News Now Extreme Team, brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
Are you struggling to get through the day? Are you experiencing chronic pain, burning, numbness, and tingling in your hands or feet? Pay attention, because you are probably experiencing peripheral neuropathy. The most common symptoms are numbness, burning, muscle cramps, and problems with balance. Neuropathy is treatable, and our office can help. It's time to get real results. Pick up your phone and call us right now. If you're one of the first 25 callers, you'll receive a free nerve damage screening. This nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious nerve damage and if you're qualified for our cutting-edge treatment program to stop the nerve damage. Don't wait until it's too late and your symptoms get so bad that you lose your freedom and are restricted to a wheelchair, walker, or need amputation. Call now to be one of the first 25 callers to receive a free nerve damage screening. Hurry, call now to find out if you qualify for our free nerve damage screening and see how we can change your life. It's time to feel better. Call today.
Starting Monday, traffic on a busy stretch of I-90 is about to look very different. What does this mean for your commute? Before you head out, we'll show you exactly what to expect with live updates and detour information. That's Monday on Good Morning Northwest.
Mr. Casino Hotel, home of jackpots, food, and fun.
Today is your last chance to hit the ice at the Numerica skate ribbon. Now that these warmer temperatures are starting to impact the ice, it won't be around for very long. So it opens at 5 o'clock tonight if you want to get one last run in, and man, I don't know that you're going to see too many complaints about this.
No.
Weather kind of impacting the. People are just excited for the sunshine again.
Friday afternoon was so
just gorgeous.
It was the first kind of let's run out and enjoy the good temperatures. We do have more spring-like conditions, and I'm talking more of the cloudy conditions on the way, Jordan. Good Sunday afternoon, everyone. We're on a little bit early, but we don't mind it. And as things are looking very nice throughout our area, still a little bit warmer in the northern Idaho region, 53 and sunny right now in Coeur d'Alene. A little bit more of that cloud coverage, and expect more of that cloud coverage to continue for at least the next couple of days, most likely into our next weekend. So your things to know is spring here. More or less, we do expect to see nicer conditions on the way, but more spring-like. But that does mean less snow, even unless we go off into Montana, but still looking just beautiful. Clouds slowly building into the beginning, at least, of our next work week. Rain chances next week, and warmer temperatures are going to persist. So current temperatures looking very nice, mid to upper 40s to mid to lower 50s across the region. If you're doing any traveling this evening, should be beautiful. But we do expect to see more cloud coverage showing up, and we could see some rain showers as we get into tomorrow morning for northern Idaho and maybe the Spokane area. I'll get to that in a second. So our average temperatures, at least for our highs, are in the mid to lower 40s for the week ahead for this time of year, for the beginning part of March. But we do expect to see much warmer conditions, and look, by next weekend we expect to get back to those mid 50s. So best chance of seeing any sustained showers will be this weekend. But warmer conditions are taking hold. Overnight lows are also going to be above the freezing level, maybe just below it as we get into the middle part of our work week. So winds, they usually say March starts out like a lion. Not this year, looking much like a lamb. We don't expect too much wind push as we move into the next couple of days. So for our forecast radar, as we head into this evening, we're going to see building clouds, and then by tomorrow morning, look in Coeur d'Alene, we expect to see a chance of shower activity that could, if it just moves a little bit west into Spokane, and then more shower activity, better chance as we move along in the day. Then that's going to continue to move on to the east. So just little sprinkles are very possible for Spokane, but could see that morning showers hit the northern Idaho area, so do get ready for that. So Monday highs, again, we're going to be a little cooler for Sandpoint, Coeur d'Alene, 43s, but other than that, we're going to be in the mid to upper 40s to mid to lower 50s, a little bit warmer the more west we go. So your Monday planner, we're just seeing a cooler day than we saw today. Going to be slowly building towards your afternoon, but again, a little bit more cloud coverage expected. So our 7-day forecast, we do expect just a little bit of sprinkles as we head into the start of our work week, then more sunshine Thursday and Friday, and don't forget, daylight savings time coming next weekend, so an hour shorter for our weekend next week. But still looking very nice as we move along into the next couple of days.
Yeah, hey, more sunshine, the better. Thank you for that, Jason. Well, restaurants in Washington are struggling, facing considerably more adversity than others throughout the country. Here in Washington, the average restaurant is taking home 1.5% of their business's revenue. So why is this the case? Our Alexandra Cohen-Yartz joined us with the story.
You're listening to the sound of someone's dream. The staff at Benny's, a breakfast spot in Cheney, working in sync to whip up meals like this one. But this is a dream that comes at a cost.
Our local business owners are feeling the heat and the struggle right now.
For the first time since the pandemic, the restaurant industry received a breakdown of how it spends every dollar. The results were heartbreaking. Restaurants in Washington are 60% less profitable than the national average. Your typical restaurant owner takes home a profit of 1.5%, which totals to around $16,000 a year.
This is the first time in history we've been under 3%. And so that is very telling.
Derek Baziotis, owner of Benny's and member of the Washington Restaurant Association, has seen firsthand the daily struggles of operating a hospitality business in today's day and age. The top expenditure is employees' wages and benefits, but cutting back on that is out of the question for Baziotis.
Our main focus is hospitality. That's what we want. We want our guests to feel comfortable.
So you might ask yourself, why not just raise those menu prices? The truth is, restaurants have already tried that. In fact, prices in Washington are already 12% higher than the national average, which is why owners say this might not be the solution. So what can be done? Right now, it's a game of trial and error.
But they're trying things to reinvent the model so they can stay afloat.
Anthony Antone is the president of the Washington Restaurant Association, a group representing the industry. His request for you?
Please show us grace and understanding right now. We're trying ideas. We recognize they're not proven ideas. We recognize we don't have it all figured out. but we need to try something different to make this work.
Despite these adversities, both Baziotis and Antone have hope that the industry will stay resilient.
I know we'll get through it. I have no doubt in that.
Reporting from Cheney, Alexandra Konyarts, 4 News Now.
Well, more than 100 local restaurants have special menus for Inlander Restaurant Week, which runs through Saturday, March 8th. So a great time to support some local restaurants. Restaurants throughout the Spokane Coeur d'Alene area are offering special 3-course meals priced from $25 to $45. And it's the perfect time to try out some new restaurants or visit an old favorite. Coming up here, we'll take you about 100 miles west of Spokane to 2 geographical wonders that were carved by Ice Age floods. And the area offers miles of hiking trails and views of what was once the largest waterfall in the world. Check out Grand Coulee and Moses Coulee coming up in this week's Air 4 Adventure.
We're just a few hours away from the Oscars, and there's a lot of buzz on the nominees, including all of the newcomers tonight. I'm Zoreen Shah. I'll have that breakdown coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Welcome to the card for Zags fans who dream big. Get your exclusive Gonzaga debit card from Numerica today.
Your home is more than a place, it's a feeling, a reflection of who you are. And at the Tin Roof, we believe furniture should do more than fill a room. It should inspire it. From timeless dining tables to sofas you can sink into and decor that tells your story, every piece is thoughtfully curated to make your space feel effortlessly you. Because it's not just furniture, it's where memories are made, where comfort lives, and where life happens. It's more than furniture, it's a feeling.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow?
I didn't know that.
Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
Kelsey Ballerini, the ACM and CMA Award winner, live. Friday, March 14th, Spokane Arena. Kelsey Ballerini, with special guests, The Japanese House and Marin Taylor. Tickets on sale now at kelseyballerini.com. Don't miss Kelsey Ballerini, live.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Subaru.
The countdown to Hollywood's biggest night, the Oscars, is here. And we're just hours away from the big show starting, and there's a lot of buzz around the nominated films and who could take home the night's biggest prize. This year, there are a lot of potential newcomers nominated, along with several new voters for the Academy. So here to break it all down is ABC's Zoreen Shah.
This is the crown jewel of award seasons, and the competition this year has been fierce, but also unpredictable, with a lot of new faces hitting the big screens this year. It's one of the most unpredictable award show seasons in recent memory.
I probably should have listened to my publicist and wrote a speech or something.
Even with Amelia Perez, Wicked, and Conclave leading the pack, anything could happen.
When you look at the acting categories, we have 13 first-time nominees, which is
remarkable. It's one short of the record of having the most first-time nominees ever. And I think what we see here is the Academy that's really open to new faces and new talent.
And those new faces are not just for acting.
That's true for every artist in the movie.
But across categories.
They also bled into the directors category. The directors that are nominated, the 5 of them, are all first-time nominated directors. First time that that's happened since 1970. So I feel really hopeful for the future of the business.
Part of the reason is because of the changing Academy.
There's been 5,000 people added to the Academy in the last decade.
1, 2, 3, and that's why it's been hard for some experts to make predictions.
For 2 years running, we've had 2 non-English language movies get into Best Picture. That was unheard of. So the tastes and the palates are changing.
Also a newcomer to the Oscar stage, Conan O'Brien, hosting for the first time.
I think that's a big misconception, is that you're hoping everything goes perfectly. I'm someone who hopes that things sometimes go a little off the rails, because that's where the real memorable moments happen, in late-night television and on the Oscars. So I'm going to plan for some terrible, terrible mistakes.
The Oscars also coming just a few months after those devastating wildfires. Conan O'Brien was one of those people who was displaced. Reporting from Hollywood, Zoreen Shah, ABC News.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Do you really think you can fix this? You should have just called Andy's.
I can fix it. It's just a little...
We're freezing. You should have called Andy's. Yeah, they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Should have called Andy's.
Don't be like this guy. Call Andy's Heating and Cooling. So when the weather does this, your family does this. Go to andysheating.com for details on the 100% satisfaction guarantee. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I'm a lawyer.
I'm Donnie, and I'm not, but I am an advocate.
So am I.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
Seriously injured? You deserve justice. You deserve an advocate.
That's us.
All of us.
North Idaho Urology, in partnership with Cancer Care Northwest, we specialize in advanced prostate cancer care.
I'm Dr. Aaron Wagner. I'm a radiation oncologist with Cancer Care Northwest. We have quite a few different treatment options for prostate cancer, ranging anywhere from standard radiation and IMRT approaches to SBRT to brachytherapy, a full spectrum of different prostate cancer treatments. We very much try to individualize their treatment plan for them.
Flush Tour 2025. Barracuda. March 11th, Spokane Arena. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guest Squeeze. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Don't miss Heart and Squeeze live. Produced by AEG Presents.
Starting Monday, traffic on a busy stretch of I-90 is about to look very different. What does this mean for your commute? But before you head out, we'll show you exactly what to expect with live updates and detour information. That's Monday on Good Morning Northwest.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
Thanks for staying with us here on this special edition of 4 News Now. If you're just joining us, we're on early today because of the Oscars, airing right after 4 News Now here on ABC. But first, we'll take a look at the weather, which has been treating those of us here in the inland Northwest pretty nicely the last couple of days. Here's Jason Valentine with a little bit more information here.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And we're seeing a little bit more cloud coverage throughout our areas. Just spectacular scenes yesterday and Friday. A little more muted, but still pretty darn beautiful and staying pretty warm. We're going to be remaining above our average temperature for this time of year. Usually we're right around the mid to upper 40s. Well, we're going to be in the mid to lower 50s for most of this week. Maybe some upper 40s in there, but still we're right above our average. As we move along in our day, again, more cloud coverage starting to build up into tomorrow morning. We could actually see a little bit of shower activity in the Spokane area tomorrow morning during your commute. It should be pretty light, but better chance will be in northern Idaho tomorrow, though we could see just a little bit of drizzle for the next couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Looking to clear up Thursday and Friday, then maybe some sustained showers will be coming as we get to our next weekend with warm temperatures returning. So daylight savings time, can you believe it? We're already in March. This is our first weekend of March. Next week, next Sunday, very early, we're going to be moving ahead in hours. So that means 1 hour less for your weekend. St. Patrick's Day, 15 days away. And yes, spring is starting officially in 18 days, but it more or less started unofficially on Friday. I'll let you know if that will continue and all the specifics in my full forecast that's coming up.
All right, looking forward to it, Jason. Thanks for that. The Washington Senate passed a bill Friday afternoon to make priests, rabbis, and other religious leaders mandatory reporters of child abuse and neglect. Murrow News fellow Albert James shows us why supporters say it's crucial to keeping kids safe and why opponents say it could ultimately do more harm.
This legislation is about protecting children and interrupting child abuse and neglect, including the sexual abuse of children.
Senate Bill 5375 would make members of the clergy mandatory reporters like doctors, teachers, and other people who work with kids. Under the law, the religious leaders would be required to tell police if they suspect any harm has been done to a child, even if they learn that information during a confession. Democratic Prime sponsor Noel Frame of Seattle says religious leaders should have a responsibility to report abuse so the state can step in and take action.
Children need trusted adults. They need to know that if they tell somebody they're being abused, like I told my teacher in the 5th grade that I was being abused, that they can trust that that person will make it stop.
Frame says Washington is only one of 5 states where clergy aren't mandatory reporters. She believes that has to change in light of reports of churches covering up harm done to children.
The state does not have to be complicit when religious communities who engage in the practice of covering up abuse and neglect choose to do so.
Republicans say they supported previous efforts to make clergy mandatory reporters, but took issue with this bill not exempting information learned in confession. They believe those committing harm may do more harm if they cannot confide in religious leaders.
People who want to ask for forgiveness for their past sins, they will not come and ask for help.
They also argued the bill violates the First Amendment right to freely practice religion and ultimately drives a wedge between people, their faith, and those who help them in it.
It is forcing somebody who's given their entire life, raised their hand, made an oath with God Almighty to choose between God's law and man's law.
In the end, the bill passed 28-20 with 2 Democrats joining all Republicans in attendance in opposition. The proposal now heads to the House where it'll go through the second half of the legislative process. In Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
Spokane Public Schools plans to create a new trades high school if a proposed $200 million bond passes in November. This Rogers High School student says he would have loved to go to a trades high school, and others that we talked to echoed that message. These are the students SPS says would benefit from this project. Instead of preparing them for 4 years of college, the trade school would prepare them for a job straight out of high school.
To be honest, I don't really like school a whole bunch, so I don't want to be going for an extra 4 years afterwards. So if I would have had that opportunity to graduate and have a job and a steady income, that would have been great.
That comes with a local carpentry union also supports the idea of a trade school. It says good paying jobs are out there, just waiting to be filled. The regular season has just come to a close for our teams in the West Coast Conference. Sydney Berger joined us in studio to tell us where Gonzaga and Washington State stand ahead of the conference tournament. That's coming up next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
All across Washington, people are coming together
to restore our rivers and streams.
We're planting trees and shrubs to cool and purify the water,
making it healthier for salmon.
Each project improves water quality and creates new habitat for fish and wildlife.
The ripples of these projects will be felt for generations.
Be a part of the ripple effect by volunteering with your local conservation district.
Experienced golfers have come off this golf course
calling it the greatest golf experience they've ever had.
I describe it as something almost spiritual.
If heaven had a golf course, this is what I want it to look like.
So beautiful and serene out there, just you and Mother Nature playing golf. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, you got 3 other partners with you, and you're just out there. It feels like you're out in the middle of nowhere playing golf and enjoying yourself.
I don't think I've ever played a course where I didn't want it to end.
You're having such a good time, and then finally you get to 18 tee box, and you say, oh, this is my last hole.
18 holes is not enough.
I got married here at the golf course. We golfed all the way up to hole 15, and that hole is just beautiful. You have the Bitterroot Mountains in the background, and then you have the rolling Palouse Hills. It's just a beautiful setting and really something special.
What'd you shoot?
I got a husband.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Welcome to the card for Zags fans who dream big. Get your exclusive Gonzaga debit card from Numerica today.
4 News Now is brought to you by the National Association of Women in Construction.
The Gonzaga Bulldogs came out with a massive win against a Quad 1 team, and it was a win they needed to not be on the wrong side of history. Welcome into sports. I'm Sydney Berger. The Zags have either been first or second in the WCC for all 26 seasons under Mark Few. And with the win against San Francisco, they continued that streak. This was a fight for the #2 seed in the West Coast Conference tournament, and the winner was going to get a rare quadruple bye into the semifinal round. The Zags earned this one in convincing fashion with a final score of 95-75 against the San Francisco Dons. Gonzaga led for all but 3 minutes of the game and were carried by Ben Gregg, who tallied 23 points and 8 rebounds. Ryan Nembhard, who leads the entire nation in assists, finished with 15 against the Dons. And the Cougars were also on the right side of things last night as they capped off their regular season with a win against Pepperdine. Dane Erikstrup logged a double-double with a career-high 12 rebounds to lead the team to a 90-83 victory. This game was the difference between a 6 seed and an 8 seed, so the Cougs fall in the middle of the pack for their first season in the WCC, which also means it's their first time they'll be joining Gonzaga and playing in the West Coast Conference tournament. Here's a look at where the men's teams fall for the tournament down in Vegas. Gonzaga has that bye to the semifinals on March 10th. Washington State has a bye to the 3rd round on March 8th. St. Mary's was the one that took the #1 spot in this bracket after winning the regular season. But the other regular season winners, the Gonzaga women, earned that title after their win against Santa Clara yesterday afternoon. They've won 9 of the last 10 seasons, and that just shows how far this program has come under head coach Lisa Fortier. Freshman Allie Turner made some serious shots, including 5 of 6 three-pointers and her 23 points to help the Zags to victory. Bree Saladbine came off the bench for 17 points, a big help after a quiet day and a season-low 8 points from Yvonne Ejim. With this win, the Zags get the best spot in the conference tournament and also earn that bye to the semifinal round. The Washington State's women's team didn't have a game yesterday, but they earned the #3 spot for their first WCC tournament. We'll see the Cougs on March 9th and the Zags on March 10th. Well, the road to the championship is getting real for our local high school basketball teams. Gonzaga Prep won yesterday, so they get a bye. Mount Spokane and West Valley lost their first games, so they have to play an extra game at the Tacoma Dome, but they're still eligible to make a run to the championship despite a loss yesterday. Same thing goes for our girls team still in the mix. Central Valley and Deer Park were able to take the W in their games this weekend. The Meade girls have to play an extra game when they get to the Tacoma Dome. The Central Valley Bears are the 1 seed in the 3A state state bracket. And if you want to see all the brackets for all the classification levels, you can check out this story on our website, KXLY.com. Washington State's sole representative at the NFL Combine was Kyle Williams. The wide receiver ran a 4.4 40-yard dash, which is among the top times from the receiver group. Former Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward was also at the Combine. He played 2 seasons with the Cougs and says playing with 3 different schools has prepared him for the pros.
From playing in Wing T to travel to Pullman, Washington, all the way to Miami, I just think, me having, get to experience different climate changes, different atmosphere, travel across the country, it's going to end up, helping me in the long run, because at the end of the day, you never know where football going to take you. You never know what God has in store for you, so, I've just been blessed.
Cam Ward is projected to be the first overall pick in this year's NFL draft, and right now the Tennessee Titans hold that pick. We have to wait a little longer to find out the fate of these draft prospects, but the first round begins April 24th. In studio, Sydney Berger, 4 News Now Sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Your home is more than a place, it's a feeling, a reflection of who you are. And at the Tin Roof, we believe furniture should do more than fill a room. It should inspire it. From timeless dining tables to sofas you can sink into and decor that tells your story, every piece is thoughtfully curated to make your space feel effortlessly you. Because it's not just furniture, it's where memories are made, where comfort lives, and where life happens. It's more than furniture, it's a feeling.
Do you really think you can fix this? You should have just called Andy's.
I can fix it. It's just a little...
We're freezing. You should have called Andy's. Yeah, they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Should have called Andy's.
Don't be like this guy. Call Andy's Heating and Cooling, so when the weather does this, your family does this. Go to andysheating.com for details on the 100% satisfaction guarantee. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Thanks to Horizon Credit Union, we're helping lots of special babies for the next step by making Maddie's place a little bit more like home.
We're here volunteering. Horizon Credit Union, KXLY, it's the whole community coming together.
The 4 News Now Extreme Team, brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
Life is an opportunity to grow, to feel, to excel. Life moves at its own pace, daring you to keep up. Life pushes you to be better, to go farther. Life has you here. We're just here to help.
What happens when one of the most famous dunkers of all time goes to the greatest lobster fest of all time?
I make Red Lobster famous.
No, Blake. Dunking happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Create your own lobster lover's dream with 2 or 3 choices on one plate at Red Lobster.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2025.
Barracuda.
March 11th, Spokane Arena. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guest Squeeze. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Don't miss Heart and Squeeze live. Produced by AEG Presents.
4 News Now is brought to you by Andy's Heating, Cooling, Electrical.
Welcome back. With this spring-like weather this weekend, why not pack up the car and maybe go on a little adventure? About 100 miles west of Spokane, there are 2 geographical wonders that were carved by Ice Age floods. And in this week's Air 4 Adventure, we're giving you a bird's-eye view of the area that offers miles of hiking trails and views of what was once the world's largest waterfall. Let's go for a ride on the Air 4 drone over Grand Coulee and Moses Coulee.
It is amazing. You're standing on the edge of what was once the world's largest waterfall. Dry Falls is an amazing geological wonder, and most folks come here accidentally and they don't realize that they're standing on the edge of an example of one of the greatest massive flows of water that happened literally in the world. And the Ice Age floods dramatically carved out the land you're looking at. So literally as you drive west of Spokane on Highway 2, you're going to see a land that was carved out down to bedrock from floodwaters, massive floodwaters that poured through here. The last one was about 15,000 years ago, which in terms of geology, that's just a drop in the bucket. As you drop down on Highway 2, it dramatically opens up and you see, you call Moses Coulee. And Moses Coulee was eroded away by a similar force of nature.
Moses Coulee is like 50 miles long. In fact, it's as long as Grand Coulee. And it's almost as spectacular, but it's just harder to get to, and not as many people know about it. That's a spectacular place. I've written 2 guidebooks, self-guiding books for people to drive and hike and to discover the Ice Age floods. It's called On the Trail of the Ice Age Floods.
You're usually driving 65 and you miss the landscape here, and you have to get off Highway 2. You are in the heart of the Grand Coulee. And the Grand Coulee is an amazing geological feature that we talk about all the time. And the dividing line between the upper Grand Coulee and the lower Grand Coulee is right here. It is amazing. Beautifully, it is a gem in Washington State Parks for sure.
Now, we air these Air 4s every week, and it's just so awesome to look forward to just the spectacular views that our state offers. You were telling me you've actually been there, and it's way more incredible in person.
It's hard to fathom how much water it took to cut those valleys out. There are some great state parks, Jordan, that you can visit, and you have spectacular views, so it's definitely worth your time. And what weather to go do so.
Right.
And it is going to continue. Let's take a look at what we can expect. My goodness, what a beautiful day. Now, we did see a little bit more cloud coverage come into the Spokane area. Coeur d'Alene, though, plenty of sunshine, still in those lower 50s. So our average for this time of year is about the mid-40s for our highs. So we're enjoying these warm, spring-like conditions. So is spring here? More or less, we're looking at nice conditions continuing at least for the week ahead. Maybe next week, though, we're going to take a step back. As you know, we don't just step into spring. We kind of have some fits and starts, but we're going to get there. Clouds slowly building up again, starting really already, but continuing into tomorrow. Rain chances next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sprinkles. I'll get to that in the forecast. And warm temperatures are going to persist at least for this week. So current temperatures, we are just right in a nice sweet spot. Upper 40s, lower 50s. We are cooler than we were just yesterday and Friday, but still very nice and spring-like. So hope you've been able to get out and enjoy it. And these temperatures are more or less going to be continuing. Again, a little bit of peaks and valleys, but right around upper 40s, lower 50s. By our next weekend, we are looking to be much warmer, and we expect to see sustained showers to possibly return Saturday and Sunday next weekend. And then we're going to drop off in the following week, at least in the extended forecast. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. But our average temperatures right in those mid-40s. So we are much warmer than we should be. So winds, not much of a factor really for the week ahead. We could see winds up to 10 miles per hour, but really nothing to speak of. So not too much wind on the way with these spring-like conditions. So let's take a look at our forecast. We are expecting to see more cloud coverage to come in as we head into our evening hours. So this is very early tomorrow morning. But by the time we get to our commute, we could see some shower activity start to form in the Coeur d'Alene area, and that could persist into Spokane, Deer Park, and even more shower activity for northern Idaho into pretty much all day, and that could just move a little bit to the west and come into the Spokane area. Looks like Coulee, speaking of which, Colville and Ritzville are going to look all right, but that is going to continue. A little bit more snow for the Montana areas, so just a little bit of inclement weather if you're heading towards the east, and keep an eye out for that, especially in Coeur d'Alene as we head into tomorrow. Again, some sprinkles here and there. So your highs tomorrow, a little cooler than they were today, mid to upper 40s, lower 50s. Again, just a little bit chillier for Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint, especially with the warmth we're seeing in Coeur d'Alene. And tomorrow, your Monday planner, again, more cloud coverage throughout the day, and just pretty normal day, just a little bit warmer than it has been. So as we look at our 7-day forecast, again, a chance of sprinkles for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. More of that sunshine and lower 50s for Thursday and Friday. And for our next weekend, don't forget to spring ahead an hour, but we're going to see mid-50s by a week from today when we see those earlier temperatures, or excuse me, earlier hours. So just get ready for a very spring-like week ahead, and warmer temperatures await us in our next weekend.
I personally am excited to spring forward, so that's going to be awesome. Jason, thank you for that. Well, and as we welcome March and the official start of spring, many of us are diving into the very fun task of spring cleaning. So to help us ditch the dirt and save some money, Consumer Reports rounded up some of the best deals of the month. Mary Sheridan shares the sales on this month's top-rated products.
March is here, and it's time to trade those winter blues for the warmer vibes of spring.
March isn't really a big month for sales, but it is the beginning of spring cleaning season, so we do tend to see discounts on those essentials.
Like this Shark Navigator vacuum on sale at Walmart. Consumer Reports says it's one of the lightest bagless uprights it's tested and is excellent at cleaning bare floors and pet hair. After a long winter, you can give your home a breath of fresh air with an air purifier. Both Amazon and Chewy have deals on this cost-efficient Wuzu model that does a solid job at removing dust, pollen, and smoke at high and low speeds. Ready to spruce up your yard for spring? Do it for less with this Makita battery-powered string trimmer on sale at Home Depot. It aced all of Consumer Reports' performance tests and is one of the lightest battery-powered models in the ratings. Coinciding with spring cleaning is National Sleep Awareness Week, beginning on March 9th, which promotes the importance of healthy sleep habits.
During Sleep Week, we tend to see discounts on things like mattresses, sheets, pillows, duvets, pretty much everything you'll need for the bedroom.
Upgrade your nighttime routine with a down alternative duvet from Buffy Cloud. This soft, fluffy find is on sale at Amazon, so you can catch a few Z's and save a few bucks. Happy spring and happy shopping. For 4 News Now, I'm Mary Sheridan.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
At Numerica, you'll find money answers for loud sneezers. Gesundheit. Get money answers for you and only you. Learn more at numericacu.com.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
North Idaho Urology, in partnership with Cancer Care Northwest, we specialize in advanced prostate cancer care.
I'm Dr. Aaron Wagner. I'm a radiation oncologist with Cancer Care Northwest. We have quite a few different treatment options for prostate cancer, ranging anywhere from standard radiation and IMRT approaches to SBRT to brachytherapy, a full spectrum of different prostate cancer treatments. We very much try to individualize their treatment plan for them.
Kelsea Ballerini, the ACM and CMA Award winner, live Friday, March 14th, Spokane Arena. Kelsea Ballerini with special guests The Japanese House and Marin Taylor. Tickets on sale now at KelseyBallerini.com. Don't miss Kelsea Ballerini live.
Welcome back, everyone. Continued warmer temperatures through the beginning of our work week, our first work week of March. Sprinkles Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, returning sunshine on Thursday, but spring-like conditions will continue for the next couple of days into our next weekend. And guys, we're on early because of...
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
malfunction.
We rehearsed it. Yes. There we go. The
yes.
I believe it's the red carpet next.
Oh wow. So some big names walking down, strolling in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
So what are you most excited for, Sydney?
Oh, I heard Ariana Grande was performing.
Live performance. Who is her co-star?
Cynthia Erivo.
Yes, I hear that.
Iconic duo.
Yeah. Sydney will be DVRing that for sure. All right, we'll see.
Enjoy the show.